Sunday at 6 p.m. and you feel it settle in. That heaviness, that dread, that specific kind of anxiety that tells you the weekend is almost over and Monday is coming, whether you're ready or not. And you can't quit. You have bills. You have people depending on you. So you push through it every single week. But what if you didn't have to? Hey, I'm Belinda Harris. I'm an HR executive with over 20 years experience, and I help women in corporate who can't afford to quit figure out how to survive their job without losing themselves in the process. And today, I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. Not burnout, not toxic workplaces, not quitting, but the Sunday dread and what it is actually trying to tell you. Because here's what I know. That dread is not the problem. That dread is a signal. And once you understand what it's signaling, everything changes. Let's get into it. The first thing that I need you to understand is this. The Sunday dread does not always mean you hate your job. Not always. And I know that might surprise you because when it hits, it feels like hatred, right? It feels like your entire body is rejecting the idea of Monday morning. But for the most of the women that I talk to, especially the ones who need their job and have people depending on them, the dread is not about the job itself. It's about what the job costs them. See, it costs them energy that they don't have enough of. It costs them peace that they can't seem to hold on to. It costs them the version of themselves they want to be when they walk through the front door at the end of the day. The dread is your nervous system saying, the way I am working right now is not sustainable. And your nervous system is not wrong. So the first step is to stop treating the dread like a character flaw and start treating it like information. The second thing I want you to do is get specific about what you are actually dreading. Not work specific, but like, is it a person, a meeting, a conversation you've been avoiding for weeks? The feeling of walking in and being immediately overwhelmed before you've even taken your coat off. Because here's what I know from over 2 decades of HR, is that vague dread is paralyzing. Specific dread is manageable. Let me say that again. Vague dread is paralyzing when it's vague. But specific dread is manageable. When you can name the exact thing, it becomes smaller. It stops being this big, shapeless cloud that follows you through your entire weekend and becomes something you can actually look at and address. See, I remember sitting on my couch on a Sunday evening, feeling that heaviness settle in. And for a long time, I just pushed through, told myself to toughen up. This is what work feels like. But when I finally got quiet enough to ask myself, what specifically am I dreading? The answer surprised me. See, it wasn't the work. It was one relationship at work that was draining everything out of me. And once I could name it, I could do something about it. So I want you to ask yourself that question this week. What specifically am I dreading? Write it down if you need to. Get it out of your head and onto paper where you can actually look at it. The third thing, and this one is practical, and I want you to actually do it this week. Stop letting Monday steal your Sunday. And here's what most people do on Sunday evening. They check their work email one more time. They mentally run through everything they have to do tomorrow. They spend the last hours of their weekend already at work in their head. And by the time Monday actually arrives, they're already exhausted. I want you to build one small ritual that creates a boundary between your weekend and your week. Not a to-do list, not work prep, something that signals to your nervous system, this time belongs to me. A walk, a meal you actually enjoy, a show you love, a bath, an hour that is completely yours. You cannot eliminate Monday, but you can stop letting it take Sunday too. That protected hour is not a luxury. It's a self-preservation, and you deserve it. And then the fourth thing, and this is the HR truth that I really need you to hear. If the dread is consistent, if it has been there every single week for months, that is your body telling you something needs to change. Not necessarily your job. Maybe it's one relationship at work. Maybe it's a boundary you haven't set yet. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding that is quietly draining you every single week. That dread is not something to push through forever. It is something to pay attention to. Because the women I've watched burn out the hardest in my career were almost always the ones who ignored the signal for too long. Don't ignore it. Listen to it. So here's your reset for this week. 1, name the specific thing you are dreading. Get it out your head and onto paper. 2, protect 1 hour of your Sunday evening. Make it yours. And 3, if the dread has been consistent for months, take that seriously. It is telling you something important. You cannot always control what Monday brings, but you can control how you meet it. If this resonated with you, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. I will see you at work.